Hour. This show is about community matters, diversity and inclusion, a platform for women, leadership, entrepreneurship and inspirational stories. And this afternoon we have a special. I have been so blessed to have Laurence Lee on the show again.
Hi.
Hi. And some Year 12 students from St. Thomas the Apostle in Nunhead. Aren't we lucky to be blessed this afternoon to have these students on and to have Laurence back again? Laurence, welcome to the show. I'm so sorry we started a little bit late. There was all sorts of things happening on the road with traffic and people doing last minute road improvements, I think, before the Christmas break. How are you today?
See you again. It's lovely to see you again. And just to fill people in, I reckon it was a couple of months ago.
Yes.
I'll tell you about this new thing I've set up to go into schools and teach kids about presentation and filmmaking. And I've been so lucky to have this incredible group from St. Thomas the Apostle in Nunhead, just up the road from where I live. There's 10 of them. And when we did our interview a couple of months ago, at the end of it, you said to me, well, I'll tell you what, after you've done your course with them, why don't we get them all on the show? And so they're all going to be on the show here.
I know, it's so exciting.
I want to get out of the way so you can introduce yourself to them. Can we do that?
Yeah. Yes. Let me introduce myself. So shall I say hi to them?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I know we said hello to each other briefly the other day. Hi. So glad to have you on the show. So I'm Louise, and I'm the host of the Power Hour show. And a lot of the things that we do on this show is about giving information to the community, bridging the gap between the corporate world and people that are in politics and decision makers and entrepreneurs, with those in the community with inspirational stories, and also information about education and prospective things they're doing in the community to support the community with either employment as well. So there's lots going on, and I can see someone's in the hot seat. Who am I speaking to? Who's in the hot seat?
My name is Chris Stefan, but Chris is fine.
Chris Stefan, welcome to the show. I'm really glad to have you here. And what are you guys studying? You just would explain on behalf of your class what year you guys are in.
We're in year 12.
Okay, so that's A levels. Is that right? A levels, excellent. And I know you've all been doing some fantastic project work and presentations. So I'm really interested in getting around to you all. If you could just tell me a little bit about the work that you've been doing, Christopher.
Chris is fine.
Chris. If you could tell me a little bit about the work that you've been doing with Laurence and the projects that you've been working on. I'm really excited to hear all about it.
So we've been working on presenting and filmmaking and well, mine is about the coronavirus pandemic's effect on musicians and creatives, and just in general we've just been working on like how to articulate ourselves in front of a camera, taking videos, editing, doing a lot of what Laurence was doing or is still doing. Back in the now.
And what do you think the effects have been on the coronavirus with people from the entertainment music industry?
It's kind of cut a lot of like the progress that we were making. Being a musician myself, I've had a lot of my activities cut off, whether that's playing at venues or being able to just have like rehearsals with my bandmates and stuff like that. So yes, and in like the wider scheme of things, especially with like Hollywood, as you know, like studios have been shut down due to the pandemic, so that stopped the making of movies, and so people are losing revenue, and as a result, people are also becoming unemployed. And in general, the entertainment sector brings a lot of money into the government, both in America and in the UK. It's a big part of how the government makes money. So for that to be cut off is, sad.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think people are finding it really difficult, and they're having to, what we call in business, we call it diversifying. So where people maybe done live shows face to face, it's most likely now that they have to do those same shows, but online, using technology to get across their performances. But so it's a different kind of way of expressing yourself
Mhm.
and not being possibly able to even see all the people that you normally see.
Yeah.
But I think one of the really important things that you said, Chris, is you said that it's affecting people's livelihoods, the money in their pocket, and being able to, survive financially. And I think that's really important piece of probably your presentation in terms of you being able to pinpoint that really important source of information.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's good. I really like to. So how many of you has there been in your group?
I think there's 10 of us.
There's 10. Chris has got a lesson to go to. So should we introduce somebody else, Louise?
Yes. Okay. All right then.
Well done, Chris.
See you.
Good man.
Chris, lovely to see you. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
There's two of us.
That's all right. I can see you. I can see you. Yep, perfect. You fit in the screen perfectly. Good afternoon, ladies.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Tahila, and I'm Kimberly.
Lovely to meet you, Tahila and Kimberly.
Nice to meet you too.
And tell me a little bit about what you've been doing for your presentation.
So we decided to focus on the current injustices in Africa, as not enough people are aware of it, and we just wanted to raise some more awareness and maybe inspire some people to go out and seek change. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. So you're creating social solutions. Was there anywhere specific in Africa that you was looking at? Was there anywhere specific?
We decided to base our crisis in the one in Congo and one in Ghana, because I feel like the media hasn't quite tried to outreach those ones.
Yes.
I could talk about Congo and Kim will decide to talk about Ghana. So in Congo, there's a humanitarian crisis where the political leader is refusing people to have free will in their judgment of making a decision. Or
Sorry, there's something going off on the screen. It's okay. Yeah.
It resulted in 2 million people having to flee Congo, and yeah.
So there's a political uprising, and what are they? They're freeing them. Is there something going on politically in Congo?
The political leader doesn't want to leave. That's basically.
Oh gosh, so he won't stand down.
No, he won't.
That's quite serious, isn't it? And what about Ghana?
So there's a rapid increase in child trafficking cases in Ghana. Like there's a place in Kumasi in Ghana called Lake Volta, and there are over 24,000 child slaves in there.
24,000.
Yes.
My son is actually half Ghanaian. His father is from Kumasi. Yeah, 24,000 child's slavery there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that myself.
Literally, barely any people know that. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not something. These are the things, isn't it, ladies, that that should be on the front page news, because there's not. If we don't know about it, there isn't anything that we can do about it. There's no way that we can campaign against it. In terms of Congo, I would say that politically, I can imagine the people are feeling really oppressed. If a leader won't stand down, and of course, if people go against him and say they want to vote for somebody else, sometimes there's a lot of bloodshed, and people are bullied to vote in presidents and leaders as well. And in terms of Ghana, is that a lot to do with the mining side of it, like the diamond mines and things like that?
No, it's mostly to do with fishing, because it's mostly in a lake called Lake Volta, and that's just cheap labor for them. And
oh, I see. So they're using the young people to take
for the price of
resources. Wow, that is really, really interesting. So what's the solution? Did you come up with anything that you think that would be able to, that you can raise awareness?
Sure, we decided to focus on social media. We believe that that plays a big aspect. I mean, we saw it during lockdown concerning Black Lives Matter. So just people using their media accounts to just raise awareness is the most simplest solution, or donate to charities as well.
I think that we should definitely take this one further onto LinkedIn and to some of my network, and maybe create a little campaign out of what you guys are doing. I'll speak to Laurence and see if we can create some awareness for the people that have been affected in Congo and for the young people that have been affected and exploited in Kumasi. There may be something further that we can do past today. So I'll touch base with Laurence and see how we can come back to that.
Thank you.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. It's been lovely speaking to you, ladies. I think we've got a few people to speak to today, but I would really like to readdress your project.
Thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome. Take care. Hello, good afternoon.
My name is Dante.
Hi, Dante. I remember meeting you on saying hi to you the other day. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, that's good. Have you been in front of a camera before, like this on the radio?
Not really.
It's the first time for everything. It's the first time for everything, and I'm really glad to have your class joining me today. So, what is your project? What is your presentation been about?
It's been about mental health on sports. Yeah, that's what it's about.
And is it are you speaking about a particular period like this year with COVID, or in general, just in general, how?
I was speaking about like the impact it has through criticism, social media, and just people being like judgmental. Like recently, boy, he unfortunately committed suicide. His name is Jeremy Wiston. He was an 18-year-old football player. And he committed suicide because he got released from the Manchester City Academy. So and he was at a pinnacle stage where they're like signing people professionally. So yeah, it had a knock-on effect on him and it caused him to commit suicide. So yeah, I was just creating awareness about mental health in sports. Yeah.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
It was really, really impacting and very, very sad. I remember reading about it and feeling exactly like yourself and thinking, how devastating. What could we do for young people that get into sports and get signed up to these big companies and it doesn't work out, but yet they have a lot of mental health because of their expectations and everything else. So did you come up with any kind of solutions or things that people, young people in sports could do to increase their mental health and their mental well-being?
Yeah, playing sports is already kind of the solution because it releases endorphins, which are hormones that like make you feel happy. Like you can kind of feel powerful as well, and it like leaves you feeling relaxed. Also, like I think there should be more institutions put in place for young people to get mentoring, and they can consult people, you know, find out the root about why they feel maybe depressed or stressed. You know, I think that's very important. Also, like outside of school, have a friend as well in school. We're aspiring to set up a sports charity, also that looks into creating football pitches in third world countries, especially in Africa.
Excellent.
Mentoring people, especially sports athletes who's gone through stress, mental health, and depression. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really awesome. I think that an academy or a charity actually put together by young people like yourself is really pioneer. Like it's innovative, it's fresh. I love that you're thinking about starting a charity because it doesn't have to be adults that start charities. Young people can start charities, and young people like yourselves who have had that experience. You know what it's like to be your age.
Yeah.
And you can probably connect with other young people in sports better than an older person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great. I love your project.
Thank you.
And yeah, I would say, continue pushing that forward. I think the topic that you're working on is a very important topic, because there are a lot of young people that maybe get into sports and football and think, oh, this is so wonderful. Maybe they get contracts to get loads of money, but there isn't anybody to support them or their families when things don't go right, or anything happens unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there's lots of that we could do around that project. So please do keep me posted with how far you get and what you're doing. I'd love to hear or us guys to touch base again another time so that we can see how far along you've got with that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Dante. Take care. Speak to you soon. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Power Hour. Can you hear me?
My name is
Welcome.
Emmanuel.
Hello, Emmanuel. Welcome to the show. How are you today? And
Thank
what project have you been working on?
Fine, thank you. And my project was based around the prison system, not only within the UK, but also other countries around the world. So, for example, in Switzerland.
Oh, in Switzerland. Tell me a little bit about the prison system in Switzerland. I know a little bit about the UK, but I don't know about Switzerland.
So, unlike in the UK, in Switzerland, the one thing that I can say for the prison systems is that prisoners, they do get their rights expressed, and they do get the basic domestic needs that they deserve. So, for example, while they do have to work around the prison, so for example, with like gardening or cleaning cells, they get quite good conditions and high standards of living, which I really do think allows them to be treated as humans and not subhumans.
So does it mean because of the way they're treated that they reform, like they have better character, they behave better and probably don't go back to prison again?
Personally, I feel as if you treat people like an animal, they'll more likely become an animal. And the fact that these inmates are treated like actual humans and they get actual rights, they actually tend to offend less in society, and this leads to a better quality of life for everyone else.
How interesting. How interesting. That's a good, really good project in looking at, especially maybe young people that end up in prison. A lot of young people we know end up in prison because, not necessarily because nobody's born, just that, bad, for example. A lot of it is to do with people's circumstances. And, they say you are a kind of like it's about your social dynamics. So maybe how you was raised, or, where you live and things like that. So if people in the UK maybe they were able to see and compare it against Switzerland and bring in some of those things, especially for young people that go to prison, and how they may be able to turn their life around with that kind of treatment, if it makes a difference. Because some people, they end up back in prison because of the experience they have in prison. So I really like the way you've been able to compare and see people having experiences in different countries. Did you get to that solution part? Yeah.
I felt as if one way in which we could actually help them is that what I've noticed is online a lot. There's a lot of petitions. So, for example, with like wars in Iraq, or perhaps children that need clean water, what we could do as a collective, as a society, as humans, is we could sign more petitions to help these inmates get access to more edible food and better conditions. We could donate money through charities and different organizations, and this would enable prisoners to actually feel like humans and actually have their rights expressed.
Certainly. And I think you may even be able to create something where you speak to the decision makers in the prison industry in the UK and give them your presentation or whatever your findings are, and say, as young people, this is what we found. And, would this be something that you would look into, or is this something that you've looked into? You'd be surprised. There may be some people that will be willing to answer that question for you. So I'll speak to Laurence and see how far along you get, and if I can offer some information about people you may be able to contact.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Great having you on. Take care. Hi, good afternoon. Lovely to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too. My name's Rihanna.
Hi, Rihanna. My name's Louise. Welcome to the Power Hour.
Thank you.
Really interesting to hear about your project and what you and your group have been working on.
Okay, well, my project I decided to do on the preservation of trees and why as humans it's our job to ensure this.
I like that. A lady that likes nature.
Yeah.
And why did you want to preserve the trees, Rihanna?
Because I find it really shocking how many trees are actually lost every minute. Like through research, I found out that it's 55,600 trees worldwide, but are actually lost every single minute. And it has effect on like the mental health for humans and physical health, and also like lots of tribes are losing their homes, and so are many organisms. And so I find it shocking how many people and like how much it actually does affect, and yet we're still losing this many trees.
I love your project. As soon as you told me about your project, I was just like, wow, I love your project. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, Rihanna, who was saying to me, as humans living in a city that's very built up like we do in London, we do a lot of shallow breathing. But if we live amongst trees, the people that live amongst trees and lots of oxygen, they do a lot of deep breathing. And we need to have more, we need to have greenery, like you were saying, for our mental health and to have the right amounts of oxygen in our bodies, and to have better well-being. So what is your solution? What are you thinking about that can be done so that we can look at preserving more trees, and yeah, saving more trees? What can we do?
Well, for example, like as a society, we're becoming more digitalized, and I feel like that's good because it means that less trees are actually being cut down, and that there's less paper being used. And also, there are like search engines such as Ecosia, and they like promise to plant a tree for every search that you do. So I feel like if we use search engines like this, or we just plant trees ourselves and just continue becoming more digitalized, it could help like more trees be preserved, and also you can get some like rights on trees so that they're not cut down by people.
I like that. I like the rights on trees. They're not cut down. I think recycling. I think if we all make a conscious decision to recycle, and especially even bits of paper, even if we've used one side and we've written on it, and we know we're going to need another bit of scrap paper again, we can turn it over and keep that bit of paper again. So yeah, I think that your project is not just important to a specific type of people, like a particular part in our world. Your project is important to the whole entire world. So what you guys are doing is going to be really beneficial to all of us here on this planet. So I think that yeah, I think I love it. I think it's great. What's it called? What's the title of your presentation?
Well, I don't have a specific title. I just introduced it as wise humans. It's our job to ensure the preservation of trees.
Yeah. Rihanna, can you keep me posted, please? Via Laurence, or perhaps we'll come back again another time and we'll find out, a bit more about your project and anything that you may have done, and if you're going to do anything on social media, because I think that is a very important project, and I really like the sound of it.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Take care.
Hi.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Power Hour. My name's Louise.
My name is Charisse.
Hi, Charisse. Really, really good to have you here today. Can I ask you to move a little bit to your left?
Like that. Yeah.
Perfect. So what is it that you have been working on with your team and your presentation?
Well, I decided to focus on the death penalty, because I'm like strongly against it,
Yes.
and I do believe that I believe that it's very wrong. Most people are actually innocent of their crimes, so for them to be punished for their crimes and they haven't even committed it is kind of like, it's sad, and it's like also shameful that we haven't changed these laws. Well, we have in the UK, but like, for example, not in America.
Yeah. In America, in the UK, it doesn't exist, but it does in people go to prison for life in the UK, but in America that it's still legal. It's different in not every state is the same, but it's still a legal thing to do. And what are some of the things that you think that people can think about when it comes to the death penalty, and stopping that penalty going forward?
Well, I think by first of all raising awareness would really help, and especially to people inside the UK, because I believe like there's gonna be so many influential people of like our generation, and like being able to go into the American environment and then therefore having like positions of power to change these like laws and legislations, I feel like that will really help. And also like changing people's mindsets, because people believe that in like that eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth type of thing, which I feel like is wrong, because killing someone because they killed someone else doesn't make you right. It's not like
Mhm.
justified.
Yeah,
And yeah, as I said before, lots of the people actually on the death row are innocent as well. So it's not like they're being killed, they're being murdered for having done nothing.
yeah, it's very true. There are a lot of people on death row that where there's no kind of evidence against them, and they go on to be penalized in that way. And it's very, 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 very sad when that happens. So yes, I think maybe it might be good for you to connect with other people in America that are campaigning against that. I think the death penalty is also legal in other places in the world. So something good for you to do with your project, maybe to look at where in the world this is legal. And you know what I haven't seen, which might be a bit of advice. I've never seen anything like a global map, um, and all the places in the world where it's legal and all the places in the world where it's illegal. That might be really good to add to your project. You could do green and red maybe to show all the places in the world, because I've never seen one, and I think that yours might be the first. For so yeah, and I would really like to know how far you get along with that, because I think that allies in America that are against the death penalty would be really good to know that us here in the UK are supporting that, and I'm sure would like to really like to hear from you.
Yeah, and I feel like the map is a good idea as well. So like people can visually see um, like how many countries still enforce it as well, even though like it was abolished in the 60s inside this country. Yeah.
Exactly. So once you've done your map, please do speak to Laurence so that I can get a copy, because I'd really like to see it, if that's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Is Laurence there? I just wanted to ask him a quick question.
Yes, you.
Hi.
Hello, Laurence. Just checking how many we've got. If I should go
We've
into
got,
a break, if we should just continue.
there's three more.
There's 3 more.
Yes.
Okay, that's all right. So yeah, shall I just continue then, going into a break, or yeah? Yeah, okay. I'll just continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Power Hour. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. My name is Adi.
Hello, Adu. Can you move a little bit to your left, please?
Sure.
Just slightly.
Okay. I made my project was about self-identity, and I chose this one because, well, I thought that it I had a lot of passion for it, and it's basically questioning whether culture contributes to your self-identity. And I talked about culture specifically because, like, during lockdown, everywhere on TikTok or on social media, you see like people from Africa um, sharing like elements of their culture and everything. And it was really refreshing to see during lockdown because it was like shining a new light on a culture that has been historically, it hasn't been represented well in history. And like not even just people from Africa, everywhere in the world, you just see people like expressing their roots basically. So I wanted to like make a video on whether like culture contributes to it and its importance as well.
Yes, this is. I again, all of the. I keep on saying I love it because you've all of the projects are just awesome, and you hit the nail on the head. I think because of COVID, a lot of people were able to show and express their culture.
Yeah.
We was able to see so much more of people's lives in different parts of the world. So I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. You wanted to be able to see if culture, just remind me of that line again. If culture
Contributes to self-identity.
to self-identity, that is really, really interesting. What did you find when you
Um,
looked into this subject?
well, I found that some people I talk to, I don't know how to say this well, but some people I talk to, they don't really consider like culture. Some people not very well, am I okay, with well versed with their culture because like circumstances, maybe not being taught the language or being raised in the country that they come from and that. And so you could argue that culture doesn't really contribute to who you are. But I believe that where you were raised, it doesn't matter if that isn't like where your parents come from. Like if you're raised in Britain but you're Nigerian, it doesn't mean that you don't have a culture to present. And that I feel like it does contribute to who you are as a person, basically. Yeah, so I kind of
I
shared
think
in my
so.
experience as well. Pardon?
No, I was saying that that I think you're right. Yeah, and please go ahead with what you were saying about your own experience.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was talking about how like as a Nigerian, I don't
I've lost you a little bit. I'm not sure if it's your internet
the fact
connection.
that my mom speaks it. I don't. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So but I was raised in Britain, and I don't feel as very connected to my British culture as well. So like I feel like people who have the same experience, they are like at a disadvantage. They would feel they are at a disadvantage. But I feel like if you feel alienated a bit, you should like that should push you to find out like where you come from basically. So that's what I'm encouraging through that video as well.
Yeah, I really like that because culture is such an important part of who we are. And
Yeah.
even within the UK, we have different cultural ways depending on where we live in this country. Um, we do things differently, maybe speak slightly differently, and adopt a different way of even doing things. And then we have in our homes, um, no matter depending on where we come from as a background, cultural ways of behaving. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it does play a very significant part of who we are, and even I do wonder as well. Is it part of us, like, and when we're born in a way? Because if my grandparents from the Caribbean, but if I had maybe been raised in a completely different place, would I have a sense of feeling that I'm from somewhere else?
Yeah.
That would be interesting to know. So yeah, that keep going with these really important subjects that you're doing. And I think a good thing to do would be to speak to your class friends, and find out where their families are from, and see if that's had an impact on who they are today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you ever so much for joining me today.
You're
I
welcome.
love your project, and I'd like to hear what it is that I'd like to hear more about it later on via Laurence, and how you got on, and what it is that you do in your research.
Yeah, I will. Thank
All
you.
right. Take care. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Power Hour.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And what is your project about?
So my name is Eva, and my project is about the lack of Black British television shows.
Good subject, Eva. This is one of the most important subjects to me, actually. Diversity on television. You
Yeah.
go, Eva. We really need young people campaigning for this subject. So tell me what it is that you've been doing, what you found out.
Okay, so I found out when it comes to Black television shows, people like me, Black kids, especially from the UK, always tend to watch Black American TV shows because there's not enough in the UK. But unfortunately, Black Americans can only represent us to a certain extent. They can't actually represent us fully. And the way British television shows portray Black people is, it's not, every day is like we're part of a gang or something. Or
Yeah.
this is not Black people in the UK, and it's like it's so annoying, it's so tiring. I'm just tired of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you come up with any did I ask you, did you come up with solutions about what could be done?
No.
No.
I feel like that we need to reach out to more like TV like channels and directors and persuade them to make like Black British soap operas, like even if it's EastEnders, like make a Black soap opera about a normal Black family in the UK, or like a kids show about Black kids living in Southeast London going to school, something that is normalized in the Black community in the UK.
Eva, this is really good. I'll tell you why. I created the Power Hour, and one of my main reasons for creating the Power was to reach the Black, Asian, and diverse community for inspiration and information. Another thing that's really important to me as a Black woman and a presenter is about having representation. Having more representation for people like myself that look like me and look like you on television, because we do exist, and we would like to see people that look like ourselves and people that are from our cultures. I don't know if you saw recently when we had 4 Black women on Loose Women, and I was quite demonstrative in speaking about that on my social media platforms, about why it was so important and such a great thing that ITV done by having 4 Black women on Loose Women. And just like yourself, I'm completely in agreement that we need to have Black characters on TV representing real people, not stereotypical characters where people like to portray that Black people are only a certain way, but real kind of soap operas like we used to have a long time ago, which probably your parents would have watched, shows like Desmond's.
I watched
You watched it, yeah, and that's pretty close to the line in terms of being a real family. Yeah, Caribbean family. They was a Caribbean family, but they had characters, black characters from all over, from Africa and the Caribbean and from the UK, and that's real. And we need real, and we shouldn't just have to rely on the States. Eva, I know we have one more, right? One more person. Is that right? Yeah, and I've got a flashing light that the show's going to come to an end shortly. But can we stay in touch? Yeah, can we stay in touch later on? Yeah, I'll speak to Laurence. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Power Hour. Would you mind moving a little bit to your left? Thank you. Yeah, you on screen. And good afternoon. What is your name? My name's Louise, and I'm the show host today.
My name is Andre.
Hello, Andre. Lovely to have you here today. What is your project about?
It's about performative activism. Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah. I'll let you go again.
So essentially, performative activism is when like you portray a certain like support for things on social media. However, like it's only to gain traction. And I think during quarantine, when like Black Lives Matter was very was at its height, was peak. That's when we saw like a lot of celebrities, especially, like come out with their support. And I think now, like it's kind of died down a bit, and a lot of celebrities have like deleted their previous posts.
Yeah, I never actually knew. I never actually knew that as a title, to be honest. And so people are like, yeah, I'll be finished shortly. So people are active. They put out all the information, then they delete their posts when it's supposed to be important information.
Yeah, I think like a big issue is that when you have so many people, such as my peers, who like they they support like very big movements, like you kind of just feel like once you do it once, that's all you need. So there's not as much like engagement. So you have to like, I'm probably basically just saying that you have to continuously show like support activism.
Yeah, I agree. If you believe in something and it's a cause that you really believe in, and you're an activist and you've put out that information, then you should stand by it. Because people in the society that find those things important are relying on the information of the celebrities and people that put that information out, and they say that information is important. I'm so sorry. I'm going to just wrap up with Laurence quickly. Thank you ever so much. I know I didn't get to speak to you very long, but I will be back with you guys again. Laurence, hey, I know that was fantastic. Thank you ever so much.
The thing is that they're so mature and they're so thoughtful, and I had no idea that they'd come up with these themes for these presentations that they've done. And the great thing is they've all given me really good clues as to where they want to go with their careers and all this. So I'm trying to organise mentors for them. A lot of them are plainly going to become lawyers and interested in human rights, all this kind of thing. So it's just great, and I hope they've learned something about themselves from it as well. I definitely think their confidence is up as a result of this.
I'm blown away.
They're wonderful people, really.
Yeah, I'm really, really blown away by it, and I'd really like to continue the discussion with you, and possibly we'll have them back again, and we'll continue talking. And and finding out more about what they do along the projects later on. Yeah,
for sure, love to.
Oh, Laurence, thank you ever so much for joining me again.
Thank you. Goodbye. Quick. I'm going to get out of the way.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on the Power Hour. And Oh, is everyone? Yay! Thank you, everyone. Oh, that's been amazing. Thank you. I'll see you all soon. Take care.